Googly Moogly, Wednesday, April the 5th. My name is Sean Carrier. Thank you for watching Bet Edge. We're coming off another winner last night in the association. The Utah Jazz getting it done on their home floor, absolutely running the Portland Trail Blazers out of the building, covering the number, cashing the ticket. We're red hot right now. We've swept the last couple of days, and we don't plan on losing anytime soon. We've got another gem in the association tonight that we fully expect to keep the train rolling. So let's dive right into the pick today. We've got the Miami Heat traveling to Charlotte to take on the Hornets in what should be a great game. Huge game in considering playoff positioning here, especially at the bottom of the Eastern Conference. Miami has just recently slid out of the 8th and final playoff spot. They currently sit half a game behind the Chicago Bulls for 8th place, and Charlotte just behind Miami. They're, I believe, 2.5 games out now with 4 games to play. So it's starting to look grim for Charlotte, but Miami definitely still in the thick of things, and that's one of the reasons we're going to recommend a 1-unit selection on the Miami Heat tonight. We really like this pick. So let's get right to it. Not too much in the recent meetings. This Miami team, completely different team in the last half of the season than we saw in the first half. And the last time these two teams played, Miami won 108-101. They were at home, but they performed a little above market value. They were only laying 4 points in that game, and they covered by 7. So that could be a good sign here. But this game really, it's coming down to the spot that these teams are in. I believe Miami is in a great spot tonight, and I think Charlotte's in a terrible spot. So we'll take a look here at the spot Miami comes into tonight's game. They should be a rested bunch. They've been home in Miami since basically the night of the 29th. So they've been home for about 5 or 6 days, and they've also had an extra day's rest here. Their last game was on the 2nd of April, so they've had the 3rd and 4th off to practice specifically for the Charlotte side, really get themselves up for this game, and they're coming off 2 straight-up losses. So you know the effort's going to be there. They're really going to want to give this game their full effort, and they're in a great spot to do so. As you can see, they no travel in the last 5 or 6 days and an extra day off to prepare and practice for the Charlotte team. So basically as good of a spot as you can hope to be in playing a big game here down the stretch of the NBA season. And the other side of the coin here for Charlotte, they're in a terrible spot, almost as bad of a spot as you can possibly be in. They played last night in Washington, losing 118-111, and now a short turnaround tonight as they play on their home floor with 0 days rest. And the spot goes beyond that. As you can see here, this is their 5th consecutive court change as it starts here at this Milwaukee game at home, and then out to Toronto, back home to Charlotte, out to Oklahoma City, out to Washington, and then back home to Charlotte for tonight's game. So that's a bunch of travel in a short amount of time, and it's a bunch of games also. As you can see here at the start of this stretch that we were talking about, it started with 2 back-to-back games, and it's basically ending today here with 2 back-to-back games. This will be their 6th game in 9 nights, and every one of these games basically has had travel involved. And you've got to believe that the sails might have been let out of this Charlotte side last night, at least a little bit, with this loss to Washington. If anyone's been following this team here during this stretch, they've been really exhausting a lot of effort to win these games. I mean, this win at Toronto, they were behind double digits in the 4th quarter. Same with this win against Denver. They were down, I believe, 12 points going into the 4th quarter. So they have had miraculous comebacks, and it really carried that energy forward for them, and you could see it working for them. I don't know how this loss is going to impact that. I would imagine it can't be good for that energy and that momentum that they've been building throughout this 3-game win streak they had. I would look for the sails to be let out just a little bit here for them. And if not, I mean, they're just in a terrible spot off 0 days rest and all of this travel and games in a short amount of time. So we're going to look for that to definitely work against them. Referees for tonight's affair, we've got Matt Boland, David Guthrie, and Bill Spooner. Not a terrible crew. I don't mind that crew at all. The day's rest, definitely some things to highlight here with Charlotte coming off that 0 days rest. The real kicker here is the defense. On 1 day's rest, they give up just under 103 points per game. And on 0 days rest, that goes up to over 110. So that's a 7-point difference in defense or points allowed just coming off 0 days rest. So when their legs get a little tired, we see where it affects them. It affects them on the defensive end, and that's just not going to get it done tonight in what should be a playoff type battle from the Miami Heat side. Getting down to the injury report, nothing too much here. The usual cast of characters for Miami. These three they've been dealing with for months and months, and Dion Waiters, he hasn't played in about 2 weeks, and Luke Babbitt doesn't play a huge role for this team. So that shouldn't affect them too much. And Charlotte getting healthy here. No big names here on the injury report for them either. But as I said, this is more about a rested team versus a team in a terrible, terrible spot. So the summary here, Miami coming off that extra day's rest with time to prepare and practice. That should go. That should just go the extra mile for them tonight. I can't describe how important that is for a side in a game like this. Charlotte, off a back-to-back with travel, they're only 5-9 straight up on the second night of back-to-backs. And they give up, this is a typo, I apologize, they gave up 7 more points on 0 days rest. That's a huge strike against them, in tonight's game. And they're playing their 6th game in 9 nights. That's a terrible stretch of basketball, and their 5th consecutive court change. So they're just in a really, really, really bad spot. And I think Miami in just about as good of a spot as you can possibly be in. And the Heat are no slouch. I mean, they're a competitive basketball team. They have edges in this game in defense, field goal percentage, and the rebounding edge. So as you can see here in the stat graphic, Charlotte with a slight 1.5 point edge in offense per 100 possessions. That pretty much cancels out here with the defense edge going to Miami. Miami with a slight edge in field goal percentage, but an edge albeit, and points per shot the exact same. A slight edge to Miami in the rebounding, and Charlotte with a great turnover percentage there, 10.7. That's probably the best in basketball. But as we've been saying, this is more about a great spot versus a bad spot. And as you can see here, these teams, they compute just about evenly. I mean, 103 to 103 is what this math would compute out as if they were playing on a neutral floor. So if you give Charlotte that 3 points for home court, I'm going to take it all back here just with the spot they're in the back-to-back. I really like Miami as the side here to get it done. So it's enough reasons for us to pull the trigger. We're going to put it on the board. The Miami Heat, you can currently get +3 if you shop around right now. So that's our selection tonight. The Miami Heat plus the 3 points should be a bet edge winner. We should all be growing the bankroll together here with this selection. So thank you guys for tuning in. If you're not doing so already, give us a follow over on Twitter. That's our homepage at bet_edge. All of our picks, videos, betting tools, everything gets posted there, and it's all absolutely free. So give us a follow over on Twitter at bet_edge. I'll definitely post a link in the description below. So thanks for watching, guys. As always, good night and good luck.